Hello, my friends. I thought you might like to have an art process video. It's been a while since I've done one of those. It's been a while since I've done some physical art. But I have just recently started moving with the crane in the dream arc. And the crane asked me to go on a journey with her. And the journey was meant to be a celestial journey. Doesn't that just sound delicious? So when the crane came to me and said, let's go on a celestial journey, I really felt like this was a new art project. And I felt like the celestial journey would be to travel with the crane to all of the birds that I have in my own personal chart. So, I have a robin, and I have an emu, and I have sparrows, and I have a nuthatch. So I thought, okay, how would I put that together in an art journal? Is it going to be a linear journey? Are we going to go through my chart in a linear way, as in the golden path? And I thought about it and I went, yeah, that doesn't feel quite right. I know enough about me that I am called to different energies when different things happen in my life. And so I might be called to the robin energy when something happens in my life and I really need some of that radiance sphere energy of my resolve, and that sacred flame. Or I might be called to that emu, that really grounded majesty. So I thought, okay, so I need a journal that has space for each one of these instead of going in a linear way. So what I did is, here's the journal, and I evenly divided the journal. And then I put little markers up here for each one of the gene keys that I have so that I can just flip to one. And I have the same number of pages for each bird. So then the next step was for me to just, okay, so I got these blank pages. Where do I go from here? I started with crane. I started a page with crane because I felt like crane needed to be explored in order to allow her to take me on this journey. Okay. Now, in many of the art journals I've done in the past, in fact, most of the art journals I've done in the past, I've used images from magazines along with my own artwork, along with my own patterned paper, along with, old paper with great print on it, along with mixed media, inks and paints and watercolors and, stencils and stamps and, everything. But the basic images were from magazines. Well, I recently discovered that AI is doing such a beautiful job helping to generate these inner journeys that I'm going on in a mythical way, that I thought, well, why don't I use, instead of trying to cobble together some kind of images from magazines that might not quite fit this journal, let me use my AI images. So right now, what I'm using for images are all AI generated. So even though, yes, I did not paint these images, however, I did write the recipe for them. I did create the environment for them to occur. So they're very personal images brought together with my own wording and then chosen from a number of images that I generate with the AI generator. And I have switched now. I'm using Microsoft Designer. I used to use Bazart, but I have found that Microsoft Designer has a lot more flexibility. And so that's what I'm using right now. So the first thing I did was do a page on crane, just as an intro, just to to get the ball rolling, so to speak. And that doesn't have any AI generated images on it. But what it does have is greenery, because I realized early on that I really needed the essence of nature in this book. So I bought a lot of stickers that are nature, flowers and greenery, all over the place, all different kinds. So I had all my supplies, and so here is the very first page that I did. Now I needed the beginning of each one of these gene keys is this right-hand page that has its number on it, right? And so I wanted to create a kind of a formula for this. What I ended up doing for this project is I created a spreadsheet. Okay. I wanted to include the sphere, the key and the line. I have the category. Is it a guardian? Is this bird a guardian? Is it a journey, or is it a unifier? I wanted to include its message and then the gene keys message. So that might be different. So for instance, the emu, the message of the emu is grounded majesty, but in the gene key, it's called the beauty of the beast. So I'm mixing the two together, the dream arc and the gene keys. Then I put in the repressive and the reactive parts of this, the dilemma that is carried by this animal, this bird. Like the emu has the dilemma of trying. However, the emu, being a vision bird, is actually more in the Siddhic realm. So really, it's where epiphany meets majesty. Okay. So what beautiful words, right? And this is an art journal, right? Words. So then I was fascinated by the I Ching. And in the Living Library on the Gene Keys site is all of the information about the actual I Ching hexagrams that go with each of these gene keys. And so I wrote down all of the different mysterious parts of this, like the emu is great power. Thunder high above the sky, that's the hexagram. So that's the other thing I did, is I made all of the hexagrams on transparent sticker paper, right? And so then I can use all these very evocative statements. Thunder high above the sky is the emu, and then awakening the creative essence in alignment with divine timing. How delicious is that? Majesty is awakened to beauty and the realization of creation. All of those are describing the I Ching, but they evoke such beautiful pictures in my mind, right? So I started with the crane, and this is the crane's page that I set the very first page up as the template for all the other pages. So here's the crane, and I wanted to mix colors of pens. Obviously, you see I've created two different images here from AI, but I wanted to mix also the colors and the type of words so that each one stands out. So each time I come to this page, I might notice something different. I might notice the stamped words first, or I might notice that beautiful green script in the middle, or I might notice that really big presence, its clarity and stillness, that I painstakingly printed out, right? Then you also notice that I have added a kind of a word bubble on one of the images here. And I did this I am doing this for all of the birds. And what it is it includes the dilemma. So these cranes around their nest are saying, when you notice you are lacking in self-awareness, that's the dilemma. Ask, where am I now? And call to us to help you envision a life of simple presence. So each one of my birds is going to have a message like that in this place on each of these pages. So that ended up being a template, right? And I have done since then, let me show the other ones I've done. 34, the emu. Emu is very much about movement. So you see me, this me is a pearlescent cloaked, beautiful older crone woman who is doing this journey with Crane, right? So that's who's in all of these images that I'm creating. You will also notice on this emu page, on the page before the page, you see me in my enlightened state, in my imaginary state, in my superhero state, riding a crane or traveling with a crane to the next animal. And then I do the same thing here with Gene Key 40. I've done that one as well. And once again, she's traveling on the crane, or I'm traveling on the crane. And I've brought in quite a few different colors on this one because the robin is bringing in this sacred flame energy. So there's that one. And yeah, I am, trying to find new kinds of, variations on the lettering. For instance, in this one, the will to surrender, those are stick-on letters in red, right? Sometimes I used a stencil. Sometimes I used a different kind of stick-on letter. So, and then as you also see, I've included the greenery here as well. So those are the ones I've done. And then the one that I actually filmed is 6. So let me show you the film first. And of course, it goes by very quickly, but it's still fun to watch. So here it is. And then here is the page. And 6 happens to be my pearl. And it's this, peace is the beauty of devotion. And that is tied in with that beautiful hexagram, sun shining on the roaring river. The path to peace, So that, of course, is just the beginning of this journal that's going to be filled with inspiration from these vision parts of each of my gene keys. And this project may go on for quite a long time because each of them I have three double pages, plus that first page and last page. So there's a lot of room for me to explore each of the energies of these birds with this beautiful crane at my side, flying me magically to each of the birds in all of their various habitats. I mean, we go to Australia with the emu, and we go to England for the robin. You know, sparrows are right outside my window, as are nuthatches. You know, but an ibis, I'm not even sure where an ibis lives, but he is also in my chart. So anyway, I thought you might enjoy that. Let you know what I've been doing creatively. So have a really wonderful day. Please feel free to ask questions below. And if you're wondering what this is, yeah, I've been developing some arthritis in my hands, and this hand is a little worse than this hand. So get some extra protection and a little warmth, and just reminds me to be careful with my hands. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.